Okay. So, very good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya, Ausa, District Latur. It's organized a World Record Series 2. Today is the 120th day of the series, and the keynote speaker for today's session is Honorable Swapna Chandran Madam. So I welcome to the keynote speaker for the dais. Then I welcome to the chief organizer of the World Record Series 2, Honorable Principal M.M. Betkar sir. I welcome to the colleagues of my college, Dr. Sanjay Kale sir, Dr. Anita Dole madam, and all others. Last but not least, all dear participants, those who joins to the series on time. So I welcome to all these participants. For today's session, the topic is educational technologies and teaching approaches in higher education. Now this topic is going to present the keynote speaker, Honorable Swapna Chandran Madam. So before her presentation, in short, I would like to introduce the keynote speaker. Honorable Swapna Chandran Madam, she is a teacher in mathematics. She is also a coordinator and HOD, head of the Department of Mathematics from Mount Litera School, Pune. So with this brief introduction, now I request to the keynote speaker, please start your presentation for today's topic, educational technologies and teaching approaches in higher education. Madam, welcome. You are most welcome. Please.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. First of all, a very happy Guru Purnima to all of you. I know it was yesterday, but still I wish you all. And thank you, Dr. Betkar, for giving me this opportunity to speak. So, not wasting much time, let me start with the topic, educational technologies and teaching approaches in higher education. So, first of all, let me tell you that being a mathematics teacher, I face various problems while teaching mathematics as well as using technology with it. Because for mathematics teacher, it is always easy to use a board and a chalk. Because whenever you want to rub, erase, draw, explain any equation, it is very easy. But when it comes to technology, yes, we all fumble a bit. How to use technology. We mostly waste our time in learning them. But through all these barriers, we have come above every difficult situations. So, in my topic today, I'll be breaking up these two terms, that is educational technology, teaching approaches. So these two are two different things. So first I'll cover what is educational technology. So let me speak about technology first. So technology basically is a knowledge of science which is used in practical task. So if I am watching a television and I want to change the channel, what is the first thing I use? I use a remote. Initially, when we had TVs, when TVs were introduced, we did not have that remote. But as and when technology came into existence, we had facilities. Similarly, how can we use these technologies in education? So, educational technology is nothing but systematic application of scientific knowledge. So, how we have used all these scientific knowledge systematically introduced as a technology in education. So, that is exactly the meaning of educational technology. Now, The growing use of technology in higher education opens new pedagogical and technological challenges for teachers. So, we all are teachers here. We have come across many problems while we use technologies. Initially, we were not aware of any platform, but now sitting here in different places, different countries, we are connecting. We as teachers, we can connect with each other through different platforms like Zoom, like Google Meet, like Cisco, many other things. So this is how the technologies have evolved during these times. Now, how is this technology important in education? So, technology basically has given us various has resolved various problems. So like first, it improves the quality of education. So when I am teaching suppose geography in class, when I'm talking about the planet earth, or when I'm talking about the planet Mars, and I want to show how the soil is red in the planet Mars, I can only teach, but with technology I can show them how that planet Mars is red in color. So this is how we improve the quality of teaching. We are teaching the exact same thing, but in a different manner. Then enhances the learning process. When a child is listening in the class, he is learning. But when the child is listening as well as watching the same thing happening, he is grasping the entire thing and inculcating the entire thing in himself or herself. Then it magnifies the teaching and the learning process. Initially, we used to just speak and they learn. That is how this used to happen. But now the curiosity in children have increased. Why? Because they have actually started understanding things, like how the processes are being evolved and how the processes are being done. Different demonstrations, they are seeing it. So this is how we are increasing the curiosity of the students. So this is the word magnifies means. Then it facilitates better performance of educational system. Yes, which is very true. We as teachers, we as professors, we have been um, redefining our profession, and we are um, doing performing better every day, and that is happening because of technology. Then emphasis upon effectiveness and efficiency. Today, for a like let me give you a small example of Excel sheet. Initially, we used to add the data, or we have to multiply different data, or we have to chronologically or alphabetically arrange the names of the students. We used to take pen and paper and we used to do it. But now technology has given us this Excel sheet where we can do use multiple formulas and make our lives easier. So technology has given us better chances and enhanced in every possible ways. Now, technology in education, when I talk about technology in education, what I'm actually talking about? I'm talking about audiovisual aids. So, audiovisual aids are those TVs that we have, the different visual thing. Like what I'm learning, I'm able to see it. That will help me actually learn the concept well. Then what is technology? Technology is machines. So machine as in we have computers and we have calculators. Yes, calculator is not a small machine, it is a big machine. It looks small, but it helps in many different ways. Then we have equipments. We can talk about equipments like your projector, hanging projectors, will um, which we can use as the number of students increase in a class. Similarly, the tvs are important and they help a lot. And in today's time, there are so many schools which have actually adopted the concept of smart TVs. We have Boon Touch, we have Note 5, we have so many applications which is introduced through TVs. So these technologies have actually helped so much to evolve. Now, when I talk about technology in earlier period also it was being used. What were those technologies? The technologies were charts, models, maps, specimens, and concrete materials. So when I talk about charts, we have in suppose biology, we have different charts: the digestive system, the nervous system. So when the teacher gets the chart in the class is at a different level. The students are so much enthusiastic to learn. Okay, teacher has got something new. It is not the same old method where she is speaking and we are listening. So chart gives a different impact than models. If a teacher gets a model of a skin or an eye or a heart, where she can just open it up and show, okay, these are the different valves of the heart. So again, it was a technology during that time. Then maps are very much used in geography subjects or social studies subject. And then specimen, again in biology, she if a teacher gets a specimen of a centipede or a lizard, so it is a different impact. So when I talk about educational technology which was used earlier, so these were the educational technologies which were used. But now, what is the actual meaning of educational technology? It is a programmed learning method. It has become the educational planning and helped in educational planning and organization, because we come across so many different ways to plan our curriculum and curriculum development and course design. It has The technology has helped to design the entire curriculum in a very productive way, where we can increase the curiosity of the students through different platforms. And it has become very comprehensive and broad based concept. So when I talk about that, it has become broad in what aspect in the sense like we can accept what is coming from the students, and also we can deliver the same using technologies. Then educational technologies cannot be viewed in terms of its parts and processes. So if I tell about educational technology, it is not specified to one meaning. I cannot break it and tell, okay, educational technology is this and this, so please go ahead. But it has many other meanings. So when I talk about educational technology, it also includes instructional technology, then behavioral technology, teaching technology, programmed learning, micro teaching, system analysis, management of teaching and learning, teacher or pupil behavior, etc. So the list is endless. So when I talk about educational technology, I cannot give the definition as one, because it includes many other technologies which has come as one. That is why when I talk about educational technology in nowadays, like we have also heard the word edutech or edtech. What is this? It is just a concept of teaching and learning through efficient medium of technology. So how this learning and teaching is happening? It is happening through technology. So educational technologies are also called as this edutech and edtech. Now, very importantly, we all were in a different zone and in a different mental peace when this COVID had hit. Why? because we had lost all connection, all contacts. All the teachers and professors were in a mindset, how am I going to deliver this content to my students? How am how will I start my lectures? So this actually, it is a boon in educational field, in technology field. How? Because it has shifted this education from a traditional to an online version. What we were before COVID, we can very well call it as a traditional method or a conventional method. But after COVID, when we were helpless, when children were not in front of us, we started using technology. And it was an emergent state for teachers and students. Now, this has raised the importance of technological integration in a substantive situation. Like students and teachers were required to update their competencies and many, many things, because every day it was a new learning for every teacher, because every day we used to come across a new thing which we were not using. And there is a study which actually shows that the highest competency was obtained by the content knowledge, while the technological knowledge was reported at the lowest, because we all were behind how to upgrade my concept and not how to upgrade the technology. So this is actually a new thing. We might be thinking like, yes, technology was growing, but actually there is a study that shows that the content knowledge was in a highest competency. Now there was a very significant difference which was noted in terms of teaching experience also. um, Educational technology, which is the field of study, it investigated that the process of analyzing, designing, developing, implementing, and evaluating the instructional environment, learning materials, and then learners and the learning process improved the teaching as well as the learning both. So technology has helped a lot actually. Now, can this be a two-way talk, like advantages and disadvantages of educational technology? We know we have learned many advantages by now. Even I have spoken many advantages. Can you give me any disadvantage of the educational technology? Anyone?
Madam,
Yes.
what is your question, madam, please?
My question is, in through my talk I have given you many advantages of educational technologies. Okay, I have listed down many advantages, how this technology has helped in education. My question to you is, what can be the disadvantage of this educational technology?
Sometimes we get hurt from online teachings like that. The technology, we use mobile and computer, laptop, all these things.
Okay.
It may sometimes light is not provide at times, madam.
Okay. So electricity can be a barrier or disadvantage. Okay. Yes, electricity
Another thing
problem.
is, madam, tracking the student concentration is a big issue in this.
Yes. Okay. So, as a teacher, what can be the disadvantage? Oh, tracking the students, electricity problem, and there is one major thing. Major thing.
Effect on their eyes, kids will get affected continuously.
But how is that a disadvantage to you?
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
One of the disadvantage when I started using smart board,
Yes,
people
sir.
are looking more towards the smart board and the lines between these sentences, and the understanding behind this topic and context.
Okay.
People are not gaining. They are
Okay.
busy visualizing the screen.
Screen. Okay. Okay. So let me take over. A big disadvantage of educational technology as a teacher, what I felt was every day I had to learn something new because technology got upgraded and my teaching stopped, but learning increased. I taught also, but I learned more. As and when the technologies got upgraded, as and when the different platforms, may it be Zoom, may it be Google Meet, you can still um, use it and check what you were using Google Meet earlier when the corona started is different what we are using now because they also have upgraded their platform. Similarly, it becomes a challenge for the teacher to understand and learn the platform. That is a very big disadvantage for a teacher because she has to manage her time in studying the particular platform and understanding what the technology is. Then only she can be prepared and go to the class and start teaching, because nowadays children are more knowledgeable in technology than us. If we don't learn the technology, it will be very difficult for us, because the teacher, if goes unprepared to the class, the children will start teaching. Ma'am, do this, do that. This is how you have to do. From last corner, this is the thing. Use the pen. They know every bits and corners of technology. So as a teacher, I found the biggest disadvantage was to learn the technology, which was upgraded every now and then. So basically, in the field of education, educational technology gives an overall success of human life. Now, let me come to the next part of the topic, which is approaches. What approaches? Teaching approaches. So teaching approaches, how this is related to the educational technology. We all know we have hardware technology, hardware approach, we have software approach, and then a system approach. So when I talk about hardware approach means what? It is just an application of principle. Which kind of principle? Engineering principles, like a tape recorder, videotapes, closed circuit, etc. And when I talk about software approach, it means like how to analyze the task, how to write in precise, and selecting a comprehensive portion of the particular concept. Then when I talk about system approach, it is nothing but a systematic approach to coordinate all the aspects of a problem. As for an example of system approach, when I teach digestive system in the class, so I not only talk about one organ, that is mouth, but I also talk about the stomach and the intestine. So that is how everything is coordinated and comes under the topic digestive system. So that is what a systematic approach to coordinate all the aspects of a problem. So when there are 5 different pedagogical approaches, they are the constructivist approach, the collaborative approach, the reflective approach, the integrative approach, and the inquiry based approach. These terms are, the words itself speaks a lot about the approaches. Constructivist approach means the entire approach is based on the concept of constructivism. When I talk about collaborative approach, how to collaborate different things into one and start my class. So these reflective, integrative, inquiry based, so these words itself speak much about the different approaches. So I have used different words like approach, method, technique. So we might be thinking, or you might be thinking, that these are all same. But approach, when I talk about approach is what? It is a set of assumptions that define beliefs and theories about the nature of the learner and the process of learning. So approach is an assumption. So this is how this has to be taken. This concept has to be delivered. Then what is method? Method is an overall plan for the systematic presentation of a lesson based upon a selected approach. So how to deliver that particular concept, that is what the method is talking about. And when I talk about technique, technique is a specific activity which is manifested in the classroom, that is consistent and with the method. So when I talk about, for example, being a mathematics teacher, I will take an example of mathematics. When I talk about simultaneous equation, I have 3 different techniques to solve it. So when I'm talking about particular sum, I will consistently talk about one method. I will not include different method in solving that particular sum, which will make the children confused. So I have to use a technique in a way where I can exactly replicate what I am meaning from that particular concept. Now, how are they related? So teaching approaches, how it is related to teaching method. So teaching methods are ways to instruct student in a classroom, so helping them to understand and remember what they have learned. So some of the best teaching strategies allow educators to convey information in a clear and concise way, while also ensuring students retain it over a long term. So this is very important, because we have come across this word called vertical progression. Now, what is vertical progression? Vertical progression is nothing but when you go ahead from class 1 to class 2, or class 2 to class 3, or class 10 to class 11, you take up some concept of what you have learned in your previous class to the next level. So that method will decide whether the child is able to take up that particular concept ahead, where the child has to use it. So teaching methods, there are many teaching methods. Teaching methods differ from teacher to teacher, concept to concept. But what is the actual thing that we want? What is the actual goal? Goal is to ensure that student retain that particular concept for a long term. So that is what we as teachers focus on. So there are different types of teaching methods. So different types of teaching methods include the differentiated instruction. So when I talk about the differentiated instruction, so it is nothing but an idea of creating tailored education plans for students, which is based on differing needs. So every child in the class is different, and every need of the child is different. So how are you going to connect each and every child who is different learner in the class? That is what this differentiated instruction means. So when I talk about differentiated instruction, I also have different ways to teach. For example, provide books or other materials at a different reading levels. So when I see a particular child of particular level is acting more than that level, so I would provide books which will help to channelize that particular knowledge in a particular way, so that the entire education of the child, the entire wisdom of the child is channelized in a right way. Then I can create custom spelling list, for an example, who has different spelling skills. children who go for international competitions like Spell Bee, where they have to spell the longest words. So I might help the child by creating a different spelling list, then host small groups to provide tailored advice to students. So I can think of many different activities where I can use this. Then I can offer a one-to-one after school to help the students to encounter those challenges, because we are um, in India, we are in a educational system where we have different kinds of students in the class. For example, we are all in one class because of our age and not because of what the knowledge the child has. Correct? You all will agree to me. So, what I can do is, if I can identify some of the students, those who are not able to match the frequency with other children, I can offer a small help of one-to-one class after the school or after the college gets over. So there are different things which I can help I can help the student come out of that particular zone which the child has created himself over himself. So that is all about differentiated instruction. So when I talk about lecture based learning, we all have come across and we all are practicing the same, the lecture based learning. So it is a traditional way to structure the classroom learning, correct? And in a lecture format in which the teacher explains information while the students observe. So teacher leads a lesson by presenting on showing showing visuals of modeling examples of a topic, etc. So while the teacher is presenting, the students can listen, watch, take notes, copy the teacher's demonstration. While this is a conventional method and helps the teachers, and it may also, and teachers can also alter it for different learning environments. So how can I make sure the lecture based learning is becoming effective? So I can keep the lessons brief, talk how much is necessary and how much the content has to uh, get into the child's mind learning process, then allow time for questions, which is very important. So when there is a period of 1 hour, I should make sure I should give at least 10 minutes and a maximum of 15 minutes for that question answer session. Because in the lecture method, when a teacher is speaking and speaking, I am not aware how much a child might have understood from that lecture. So I should keep that 15 minutes gap or 10 minutes gap for the student to speak and let me understand and help me understand how much the student has understood from that topic, and I can clear that. Then create instructional videos from that. Okay, I can use visual cues and then promote handwritten notes also. Okay, then when I talk about the technology based learning, again, I have been showing you different technology that we can use in the classrooms, as well as any other platform where we have to speak about that particular concept. And then is group learning. So group learning has shown much what we can say, a very effective way actually to learn a particular concept. For example, segmenting students into group is a great way to teach them skills in collaboration. So while in their teams they can discuss subjects and learn about the perspectives of others. So it is very important to encourage both class participation also and listening skills also. Because when I am segmenting them into 2 groups or 3 groups or 4 groups, when one group is presenting or one group is speaking, so there I'm promoting that speaking skill. But at the same time, I have to make sure that where all other groups are listening to that group. So I am simultaneously looking into various concepts there. Okay, so group presentations also I can help uh, which can help me use as teaching methods. And then I can make an interactive section by allowing them to ask each other, because when there is a group and multiple minds together, you get more ideas and more new concepts and more creative ways to do that particular problem or solve that particular problem, and come up with very creative answers in the same manner. Then we have individual learning. So individual learning can be like, while group projects can be exciting opportunities for student, it is also important to promote individual learning so that they can work by themselves. So if I group them, again, there might be a child which is very passive, very introvert, not ready to participate, not ready to share ideas. But when I include this individual learning, I can help that child to speak up, to share his or her idea, and that is how I can take out whatever problems the child is facing, who is not an extrovert but an introvert. Then comes inquiry based learning. So inquiry based learning is nothing but which promotes the idea of learning by investigation, where students can complete projects, ask questions, and find answers by themselves. So case studies have been, when we give case studies as projects, so it has proven a different level of student participation in the class. The child studies very easily through this inquiry based learning. So upon learning about concepts, they can explain and present the concept in their own words, and this helps to enforce in their memories during this course of inquiry. The child has come across different varieties of concepts, so the child can recall because he or she is practicing herself. So this is a very good teaching method. Then when I talk about kinesthetic learning, so kinesthetic learning is the notion of learning through movement. We all have come across the word called kinetic energy. So kinetic energy, kinetic, moving, kinesthetic, motion through movement, learning through movement. So teachers can move around the classroom and use hand gestures while they present to engage student visually and kinesthetically. So they can also encourage students to perform physical activities where they can move around and use a creative, and some ideas can be drawing, acting, building, playing. So if I talk about the same concept again and again, we all will get bored. When I take a pen and draw the same thing, draw a flowchart, draw a mind map, yes, we all are interested. We learn more. We come across those colorful drawings, and yes, we are excited to know what is happening more. We all are curious. So similarly, teaching method of kinesthetic learning has a very different impact on the students. Now, game based learning, we in our career, we have done this game based learning. We have thought of different games that we can perform in the class, and we have asked children to do that, where children have learned a lot and they have enjoyed. My experience I want to share here is once when I was introducing the chapters in teachers, because a mathematics teacher, I'm taking this example. I was teaching integers to the students. So integers will have positive numbers, will have negative numbers, and a zero. Okay. So how to ask them, how to make them learn about the addition and subtraction. So what I used were those deck of cards. So deck of cards, we have 52 cards, out of which 50% is black in color and 50% is red in color. So I asked them to use these red color cards as your negative numbers and the black color cards as the positive numbers. And we had a group, and I had given them questions on the board, and they had to make the entire thing, join them, and solve the particular problem using the deck of the cards. And children enjoyed like anything. Similarly, there was one more example, game based, where I was teaching them unitary method, how time and the number of people are inversely related. So when I'm telling one man takes 5 days to build a wall, how many days will 2 men take to build the same wall? So obviously it will be less number of days, because it is the inverse proportion or varies inversely. So what I done was, first I told them to get different ingredients of bhel. So every child had got different ingredient of bhel. One had got those mumra, one got chutney, one got save, and they made bhel. And I had placed one plate of bhel in front of 7 students. So I told them eat, and I started the timer. So when I started the timer, within second that plate of bhel was empty, because they all had eaten it. Then what I did was, I gave them bhel in individual plates. They took time to eat. Now they understood how the entire thing is inversely related, the time and number of people. So these are the some examples where I have inculcated in my period of teaching, my course of teaching through game-based learning. And then last but not the least, the expeditionary learning. So expeditionary learning is the process of learning through participating in practical experiences. Now these can be projects, these can be case studies or lab experiments in the classroom, or field trips maybe. So we all have gone to different field trips and understood. It might not be a fun field trip, but also a learning field trip. So it can be around the school or the community. For example, in a science class, you might take up a trip to a nearby nature center to learn about the types of animals and plants, for a very small example. So this type of approach encourages the student to apply the purpose of their effort, apply the classroom knowledge actually and skills into the real world, how they can connect the entire thing in real life application, and they can actually comprehend the purpose of their efforts and return to the schoolwork with enthusiasm. Now, I want to end my entire presentation by saying that the best method is the method that works, the method that is effective, the method that will enable you to realize your intended outcome. You as a teacher, you choose the method. You want to make the children learn, so you choose which method is right. So nobody can tell you that this method is wrong, that method is wrong. No, a teacher knows and senses the nerves of each and every child in the class, and the teacher cannot be wrong on delivering the particular concept in his or her manner.
Thank you very much, madam, for wonderful presentation. You explained so nicely. We are very, very thankful to you. Now I request dear participants, please, if you have any query, please come ahead and discuss with madam. Dear participants.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Your topic was really a contemporary nature. And rightly, your last word here really appreciate that what fit for one need not be fit for others. Every individual has to have their own methodology or technique of teaching to the students of different levels, especially the technology to be applied. Some people may use as you rightly said, PowerPoint presentation. Some people may use oral lecturing. and especially in higher education like UG and PG. I think
Yes,
I suppose this PowerPoint presentation would be more effective
yes,
as in case of the middle school and upper primary school. What do you say, madam?
correct. See, sir, PPTs play a very important role because as we increase in different levels of education, the concept, the quantity, and the quality also increases. Okay, so you have a planned entire syllabus through a different course of time. You have more quantity but less time. But in a school level, the syllabus with as comparison to a PG level is less, and the school will have 1 year course time to use that. So teachers of schools will have a particular gap where teacher can use different methods to solve or make the children understand that particular problem. But presentation, yes, it is very important in higher education because the concept, for example, the derivations are too long for in PG level. So yes, presentations are very important. You can actually show the concept. If you are talking about different heavy machines, you can not only teach them the derivations, but also show them how these technologies can help you in showing the working of those particular machines there.
True, you're saying. But one more thing, man, visuals are more effective. Man. That's the reason PG student can easily grasp. As you rightly mentioned, that more quantity can be delivered in less time
Yes, sir.
through visuals.
Which?
Through visual, because through PowerPoint presentation, you can show various pictographs, pictures can be shown, and that way you can make easily convince the students of undergraduate, postgraduate students, then UG. But on the other hand, you cannot completely write off the conventional way of teaching methodology. What do you say, madam? That
See, conventional methods go hand in hand with technology. Conventional methods are always helpful. For example, when I had asked for disadvantages, you have only given me the answers. Like when we don't have electricity, what shall we do? Yes, the technology will fail at some or the other level. In those times, in that time, conventional method is the only method which will help us. So when gone hand in hand, technology and conventional method, nothing like that. We can always be successful in delivering the concept.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Bedkar sir. Good evening, Prashant sir. Good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation you have done today. And
Thank you,
regarding the technology, no doubt technology advanced our education system only, because many of the, when we were learning,
Yes, sir.
many of the things we had to develop as per our imagination. I'm
Yes,
from
sir.
the medical field. So if we are talking about the heart or liver and the relation with other organs, we have to imagine all those things. But now,
Correct.
the animations and three-dimensional studies are there, and it has become so easy for us.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And technology really, it has means that we had to go to library, we had to select book, we had to find out context, and then we were writing. We could write or we could say something. But nowadays, you put on a Google and Google Scholars. When we are doing for
Yes, sir.
research and review of literature, the things are become so easier to get. Very easily we are getting, and
Yes,
that
sir.
is the things are advanced. And definitely, what kind of teaching methodology I had to use. Yes, it depends upon me, because how I will deliver it with what kind of skills I am having. That is one thing. Okay,
Yes, sir.
some people are having very good in vocabulary. Some people are good in drawing the pictures on the board. So they can use their skill. But one more thing, what I want to say, what about the audience? We should know our audience very well. If we are knowing our audience, then I think we can deliver our, the communication and the information will reach them very easily.
Yes, sir.
What do you say, man?
See, for an example, what I have experienced just now. when a person is speaking, may it be in a class or a resource person as I am today, when I started my presentation, I got many thumbs up, many flowers, many appreciation side by side. That itself meant that I have touched the nerves of the participants here. Participants were very enthusiastic to listen to me. The responses, different responses will help you to understand how the audience are there with you, are they listening, and or they are not. Because you won't believe, sir, during corona not a single child switched off the camera when I was taking the class, because they knew, okay, this ma'am is going to come, we are here to learn a new thing, a variety of thing. Because I was always prepared. Yes, I'm always enthusiastic when I go to class, as you know, as you have been listening to me. That itself shows how a great audience and listeners you all were. The reaction itself gave me the answer.
Ma'am, the blunders have happened, when we start in COVID time, we started using Zoom and, various other, so this communication media. One of the teacher had given 1 hour lecture without knowing that, he's not joined with other people.
Yes, sir,
So
blunders do happen. Why,
technology. We are
uh,
developing and expanding technology day by day.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what I was talking about, the disadvantages when you have less knowledge, because we always have heard to the proverb that less knowledge is very dangerous. So there were many a times where we were not in a presentable position and the camera was on. We were not mute, but we were speaking something which shouldn't be heard the other way. Sir, we all have learned all those things through experiences only, because it was a very new thing to for us during this COVID time. So yes, sir, every technology has a disadvantage and takes time for the person to learn what actually the technology is. So yes, we make mistakes, but then we learn also through our mistakes only.
And we cannot rely on technology also sometimes. We could not join with our resource person. We could not, sometimes because of the rainy season, we cannot get what you are saying. That is also one of the disadvantage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Truly said.
There
Yes.
applies the new third law. There applies different third law. There is equal and opposite reaction. There is every debit, there is corresponding credit in commerce. It's right that when you have advantage, there is disorder always exists in any phenomena. So you will have to
Yes.
accept the reality. That's all.
Yes, sir. Very truly said. Yes. Advantage.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Badiuddin sir, Dr. Swanand Shukla sir, for your nice interaction with Honorable keynote speaker. Now I request the chief organizer of the series, Honorable Principal M. Ambedkar sir. Please come ahead and have some words for us. Please, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
थैंक यू मैम।
थैंक यू सर। हाँ संतोष
सर मैम आपका जो आज का जो टॉपिक था ना बड़ा इंफॉर्मेटिव भी था, और दूसरी बात की आज का जो एजुकेशन है जो एजुकेशन जो चल रहा है वर्तमान में, आज आपसे वो जानने के लिए भी मिला। और आपका पीपीटी इतना महत्वपूर्ण था कि उसमें सारे टॉपिक मतलब एक हमको एक यूनिक टॉपिक लग रहा था और यूनिक जानकारी भी मिल रहा था, क्योंकि एजुकेशन पॉलिसी पर तो बहुत सारी चीजों को मैंने जाना था, उससे कुछ मिलता जुलता तो था ही, मगर जो कोविड-19 से रिलेटेड भी बातें उसमें सामने आ गई। और सही बात है कि जहां हम कोरोना काल में जहां घर में बैठे थे, जहां सारे स्कूल बंद थे, सारे कॉलेज बंद थे, उस बीच में ये डिजिटल का ही और टेक्नोलॉजी का ही माध्यम से हम लोगों ने पढ़ाई का अपना जारी रखा और बहुत सारी चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ा। मैंने कोरोना काल में भी जैसे पेंटिंग वगैरह का जो कार्यक्रम होता था, जो बच्चे पेंटिंग सीखते थे, वो हम लोग को लगता था कि ये पेंटिंग क्या जो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से होता था पेंटिंग प्रतियोगिता वगैरह, वो आज आभासी माध्यम से हो सकता है क्या, ये हम लोग भी सोचनीय विषय था। मगर जब उस प्रतियोगिता को मैंने कई जगह मैंने जब फेस किया तो देखा कि नहीं, ये तो अद्भुत चीज है कि जहां हम लोग तो एक जगह घर में पैक हैं, मगर एक छोटे से स्क्रीन के बीच में आकर अपनी प्रतिभाओं को अपना हम दिखा भी पा रहे हैं और देख भी पा रहे हैं। शायद अगर ये टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं होता तो हमारे बच्चे क्या कर रहे हैं ये भी पता नहीं चलता, क्योंकि आज सबसे बड़ी बात है अगर टेक्नोलॉजी है तो आज गार्जियन भी बैठकर देख रहे हैं कि मेरे बच्चे सच में पढ़ रहे हैं कि नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं, ये उनके बीच का चीज हो रहा है। कुछ लोग इसे नेगेटिव रूप में लेते भी हैं, मगर मैं जहां तक मानता हूं कि जब आप सकारात्मक दिशा के साथ कोई काम को करते हैं तो सारा काम सार्थक होता है। और यही वजह है कि अगर टेक्नोलॉजी को अगर हम लेकर चलेंगे तो शायद हमें नहीं लगता है एजुकेशन जितना लोग महंगा लोग जो बोलते हैं कि एजुकेशन आज के दिन में बहुत महंगा है और इस पे कॉस्टली पड़ता है, ऐसा कोई बात नहीं है। हमारा एक चाह होना चाहिए, डिजिटल पे सारा चीज अवेलेबल है, हम चाहें तो घर बैठे भी पढ़ाई को पूरा कर सकते हैं, हम अपने काम के साथ साथ पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं। मैं तो बेतकर सर को धन्यवाद देता हूं, क्योंकि उन्होंने इतने सारे टॉपिक लाए, इतने सारे महत्वपूर्ण टॉपिक इन्होंने दिए हैं। और ये जो 1 घंटा का जो यज्ञ चलता है, इस यज्ञ में हमेशा हम लोग शामिल होते हैं और कुछ ना कुछ लेकर जाते हैं। और ये 1 घंटा का सेशन, जैसे देखिए मैंने कहा ना कि कोरोना काल का समय चल रहा था, कोरोना काल के बाद जैसे ही हम लोग निकले तो ऑफलाइन कार्यक्रम चालू हो गया। ऑफलाइन कार्यक्रम होने से जो हम जैसे यूथ थे वो अब जुड़ नहीं पाते हैं। कई ऐसे लड़के हैं जो हमारे पास मैसेज करते हैं कि भाई सोनू का अब ऑनलाइन कार्यक्रम नहीं होते हैं क्या, गोष्ठी नहीं होते हैं क्या, क्योंकि उनमें एक इंटरेस्ट जगा। क्योंकि जो लेक्चरर प्रोफेसर जो कल तक कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी में बोलते थे, अब वो एक आभासी माध्यम से आकर जब वो बोलना शुरू किए तो उनको जब किताब जो पढ़ने की बारी आती थी तो वो किस किताब से बेहतर यहाँ सुनना लगता है उनको। क्योंकि जो यहाँ बातें जो आप लोग लाते हैं बोलकर, भले ही वो सारा आप कितना मेहनत करके यहाँ पर मैम आकर बोलती हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है कि एक दिन पहले आपको विषय मिलता है, विषय से रिलेटेड आप पढ़ के आती हैं, बहुत सारी तैयारियां होती हैं। तो ये सारी बड़ी बड़ी बातें ये जो है, जो देखने में लगता है कि 1 घंटा का सेशन, इस 1 घंटा के लिए आप कितनी मेहनत करके आई हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी बात होती है। तो ये आपकी मेहनत है मैम। और ये हम भी तो चाहेंगे कि आगे चल करके आप जैसा मतलब बोलने के लिए मेरे पास एक्सपीरियंस बने, और यहाँ से जो शब्द मिलते हैं, भाषा मिलते हैं, ये शायद मुझे कहीं और नहीं मिलता। तो मैं यहाँ पत्रकार के लहजे से नहीं जुड़ता हूँ, मैं यहाँ एक स्टूडेंट के लहजे से जुड़ता हूँ। मेरे लिए यहाँ एक परिवार लगता है, यहाँ एक कोई गैर नहीं, बेतकर सर लगते हैं, प्रशांत सर हैं, सभी लोग यहाँ, जयवीर सर हैं, सभी लोग। नहीं लगता कि मैं बिहार का हूँ, सर महाराष्ट्र के, ये नहीं लगता है। सबसे बड़ा चीज ये लगता है कि हम लोग एक देश है, एक राष्ट्र है। धन्यवाद मैम, आज आपका टॉपिक बड़े ही मुझे अच्छा लग रहा था। मैं रास्ते में भी था और कुछ कार्य भी मैं कर रहा था, इसलिए मैंने वीडियो ऑन कर नहीं रखा था। लेकिन आज का सेशन मैंने जानकर देखा और सुना, इसलिए क्योंकि मेरी तरफ 2-4 दिन से नेटवर्क की समस्याएं चल रही थी। तो आज मैं सोचा कि नहीं, आज आप जब टॉपिक देखा कि अरे ये तो एजुकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी से संबंधित आज का कार्यक्रम है, तो जुड़ना है, किसी तरह जुड़ूं लेकिन जुड़ना है। धन्यवाद मैम।
ये विषय चुनने का बहुत बड़ा कारण भी यही है कि हम टीचर्स एक दूसरे से इस बात पे बहुत आसानी से जुड़ जाते हैं ये टॉपिक पे, इसीलिए वो था मेरा विशेष कारण इस टॉपिक चुनने का।
थैंक यू सोनू। Thank you, Sonu
मैम
Kumar sir.
मैं चाहूंगा मैम कि अगर आज अगली बार न्यू एजुकेशन से रिलेटेड अगर कोई टॉपिक होगा तो जरूर बताइएगा सर को, और आप एक बार सेशन को लेकर, क्योंकि आपका समझाने का जो तरीका मुझे बहुत बेहतर लगा और मुझे बहुत पसंद आया। मतलब इतना अच्छे बेहतर तरीके से आप एक्सप्लेन कर रही थी एक एक बात को, लग रहा था पीपीटी देखने में छोटा मगर वो छोटा से भी बहुत बड़ा था जब आप एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे। तो ये
बहुत
पूरी
धन्यवाद।
किताब आपने बता डाला आपने, इसलिए इसके लिए धन्यवाद है। और कभी बिहार आए मैम तो बेतकर सर से याद करें, मैं जरूर मिलना चाहूंगा आपसे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
Thank you, Sonu Kumar sir, for your appreciation to the series as well as the keynote speaker for today's session. So thanks to you. Now I move towards the vote of thanks. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur, organized the World Record Series 2. Today was the 120th day for the session, and the topic was very interesting and very useful to all of us, to teachers, to students, and all those researchers. Educational technology and teaching approaches in higher education. Now this topic have presented Honorable Swapna Chandran madam so nicely. Her expression was very fluently. She expressed all those things, covered every aspects in her expressions. At the very first, ma'am have explained the educational technology as well as highlighted upon the different points that importance of technology in education, educational technology in current positions, influence of technology during the COVID-19, then advantages of disadvantages of the educational technology, as well as pedagogical approaches. And lastly, ma'am have explained teaching methods, then different types of teaching methods. All those points are covered in her lecture so nicely. So I express sincere gratitude towards you, madam, for paying a valuable time to us and express so nicely. The expression power is very, very informative. You express in such a way. So thanks to you. Then I thanks to the chief organizer of the World Record Series 2, Honorable Principal M. Betkar sir. Special thanks to Dr. Badiuddin sir, Dr. Sanand Shukla sir, as well as Sonu Kumar sir, who have discussed, asked some questions and shared some views to us. So thanks to you. And lastly, thanks to all dear participants, those who joined the series on time and motivate us, then enhance the beauty of the series. So thanks to you all. Now I request all dear participants, please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. Then you will get your certificates. So thanks a lot to you. Again, madam, thank you very much to you for paying your valuable time.
Thank you
So
so
with the
much
kind
for
permission
giving
of
me
the
the
chief
opportunity.
organizer, now I declare that today's session is over. Thank you very much. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, sir. Thank you.